Okay, so it's me again, and man, I apologize for making so many videos so far apart, but I really haven't been in a big hurry to get this boat back together. It's been just too hot for me to work on it. It's cooled off down here down southeast Texas now, and believe it or not, the floor is ready to go in. I have done all of the board work, all of it. It's all ready to go in. I'm trying to figure out how to explain this, how I did this, but as you can see, those pieces of board, let me see up, man, it's hard for me to see because the sun is shining in on me. Okay, you can see those pieces of board that I put in on the floorboard over there. And if you look real close, you can see where the fiberglass was above that board. Okay, so that the new board that I put in there is going to sit right on top of those pieces of board. And so there's not going to be any place on this floorboard that's not supported. It's not going to be like they did before. Before, they just put the plywood in here and then just fiberglassed it in place. They didn't have any supports going across the boat here to support the seams where the plywood came together. They just let it rest right on top of the hump of the hull. You can actually see some of the putty that they put to hold the plywood in place, and that's all they did besides with the floorboard here. You know, the center part of the floorboard to support the center part of the floor. But I'm completely finished here. I just got to cut the plywood, which I already have ready to go in. It's laminated and ready to go in. That's the bottom. The black part is going to be the bottom side, and the top part is still wood, and because I want to be able to let that marine epoxy resin, fiberglass resin, laminate to that board. I really need to get that laminated real well. So I got to come in here and cut some of that foam out that I put in like a dummy. I put it in way too soon. I got to cut at least 2 inches of that foam out, that pink foam that you see right there above those boards that I put in. I hope I'm showing this. I can't see anything in this viewfinder. But and then sand that down real good, and then after I get my board in here, all I have left to do after that, after I get it all tied down, and see, I can also screw it down now too. And before you stick your nose up, if that PL marine epoxy, it's not glue, it's forget what it's called, but anyway, they actually glue boats together with that stuff, and that stuff laminates, man. Let me tell you something. I cannot pull those boards up, even with the freaking screwdriver or something. I cannot lift those boards out. They are there permanently. The good thing about this epoxy marine epoxy that I'm using to glue these boards down with is it can sit in water forever and it will never soften. It will never get soft. But there is a cushion. There's a little bit of a cushion to this board, which is good, which keeps my hull from being too rigid, because you don't want your hull to be rigid. But so it's turned out real well. I'm very, very happy with the way this has turned out, man. All I have to do is cut my 2 pieces of board, floorboard, lay it in here, tack it down, screw it down. I may use staples. That's what they used last time. So I've got a good staple gun. I may staple it down and then come back and laminate it in place. I'll probably cut the back here at a 45 on both sides so that the board overlaps, and then it can never again do what it did, because what happened with this floorboard was that it rotted from the underside out. So because they didn't have any lamination on the bottom of the board, that moisture got in there and began to rot the board from the inside out, and there was no support, so it kept rocking back and forth until it just busted the lamination and just rotted away. So that'll never happen again. This boat right here is it's probably going to outlast me. I mean, I've probably got another 25 years left in me or so, and this boat will still be good to go when I'm gone. You know, this old Johnson outboard motors is a gas guzzler. That's true, but the people that I've talked to, they said, man, that's still one of the best motors that was ever designed, that year model. So that's where we're at, guys. All I gotta do is cut this board. I got 2 pieces of board. I gotta cut, I think it's 66. Well, it's 66 and a half on the front side, the forward part of the board, and then 68 3/4 back here where it's gonna seam across. So that's all I gotta do is just cut this board, trim it where it'll fit in there, and then You know, like I said, I might use screws. I might use tacks. Staples. That's how they put it in there last time. They used staples. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I haven't decided yet. I've got good deck screws that'll last forever, but I don't know. I just haven't given it enough thought yet to decide how I want to do it. But we're just about there, and then this thing it'll be good to go. The only thing left to do, and I've got 3 gallons of marine epoxy resin, fiberglass resin, with the mesh. Not the chips, you know, that they press together, but this is actually woven together fiberglass. I think that's a lot stronger. And then I'll come in here and relaminate the floorboard of this thing, and then paint it. And man, we got a brand new boat, guys. This thing's brand freaking stinking new. I'll have to redo the dash. The dash looks like hammered dog shit. I'm gonna completely redo that. I mean, this looks terrible. It's like somebody didn't know what the hell they were doing, and that's exactly what it is. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I'm not a trim artist, so especially when it comes to metal and stuff. But I'm gonna redo the dash, and then that's it. It's done. It's a done boat. It's brand new. It's good to go, man. So I guess that's all I got. Everybody have a great day, and I got to do the transmission service on my wife's car tomorrow. I've been so busy too, man. Not to mention, you know, not working on this boat, but I had to put fuel injectors in my wife's car day before yesterday because it rained all day yesterday. So I put the injectors in her car and got it running again. And then it rained all day yesterday. I pretty much just worked in the garage, cleaning the garage, and getting those boards ready to go in. And so that's where I'm at. All I gotta do is cut them and set them in here and screw them down. And I'm gonna wait 24 hours for that PL epoxy, marine epoxy glue, or whatever the hell you want to call it, to cure. And then once it cures, man, it's there permanently. It ain't going anywhere. Then I'll just lay the boards in here, screw them down or tack them down, or however the hell I'm going to do it, and come back, relaminate, paint, and we got ourselves a new boat. All right, guys, that's all I got. Peace. Everybody have a great day, and I am out.